Respected educationists, on the panel of today, we have gathered here to discuss the significant points of new education policy tonight. After 34 years, we are going to observe a revolutionary transformation in the Indian education system. It is certain that this policy is going to take our nation towards right and meaningful direction. Among us profound, challenging aspects of the policy, the bravest one is the linguistic dimension of the education system. Though parents and many educationists, including school teachers, are skeptical for the success of choice of languages and usage of mother tongue as a medium of instruction, as has been proposed in the policy, and which is but natural also. Yet, research claims that this step to be one of the most significant steps to be taken to make new and Atmanirbhar Bharat. It has been observed that in the topmost 20 advanced and successful countries, mother tongue has been adopted as a medium of instruction. And among us, the 20 poorest countries, foreign language has been adopted as a medium of instruction in schools. So hence it is quite clearly revealed that medium of instruction plays a very, very important role in the development of any country for many, many reasons. So we should welcome and adopt this change wholeheartedly. Now the point is what it proposes actually. The NEP proposes an early implementation of the three-language formula to promote multilingualism from school level. Though the language policy leaves it to states to decide on what that language would be. There are controversies even after clarification from the Union Minister for Education, Mr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, that center will not impose any language on any state, and that is really appreciable too. The document says that three-language formula will continue to be implemented while keeping in view the constitutional provisions, aspirations of the people, region, and the union, to preserve our regional languages and culture, and finally to promote multilingualism as well as to strengthen the national unity. So the three languages learned by the children will be choice of the states, region, and of course the students themselves, so long as at least 2 of 3 languages are native to India. So in particular, students who wish to change one or more of the 3 languages they are studying may do so in grade 6 or 7, as long as they are able to demonstrate basic proficiency in 3 languages, including one language of India at the literature level by the end of the secondary classes. So there will be a major effort from both the central and the state government to invest in large number of language teachers in all regional languages around the country, and in particular for all 22 languages mentioned in the 8th schedule of Constitution of India. Sanskrit. Yes, Sanskrit will be mainstreamed with strong offerings due to its vast and significant contributions, its scientific nature, rather than being restricted to single stream in Sanskrit pathshalas and universities. Sanskrit will be mainstreamed, including as one of the language options in the 3-language formula also, as well as in higher education, says the policy. So the document says that Sanskrit will be taught not in isolation, but in interesting and innovative ways, and contributed to other contemporary and relevant subjects such as maths, astronomy, philosophy, linguistics, dramatics, and yoga also. In addition to Sanskrit, other classical languages and literature of India, including Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Odia, Pali, Persian, and Prakrit, will also be widely available in schools as options for students, possibly as online modules through experiential and innovative approaches to ensure that these languages and literatures stay alive and vibrant. Similar efforts will be made for all Indian languages having rich oral and written literature, cultural traditions, and knowledge too. The NEP says something about teaching foreign language also. In addition to high quality offerings in Indian languages and English, foreign languages such as Korean, Japanese, Thai, French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, and Russian will also be offered at the secondary level for students to learn about the cultures of the world and to enrich their global knowledge and mobility according to their own interest and aspirations. However, the policy makes no mention of Chinese in a list of foreign language studies in the amended one. Earlier one, it was included. So next significant point is about the roadmap for implementing this policy. Keeping all controversies aside, it's to emphasize that no language is being imposed on new education as per new education policy. And a flexible approach has been proposed with the 3-language formula according to policy drafting panel chief, Mr. K. Kasurirangam. The former ISRO chief, who was tasked with drafting this new policy, says adopting local languages as a medium of instruction till class 5 is important in the early phase of education because during this formative phase, the child's strength is understanding the principles and in displaying creativity, which manifests better in the mother tongue as well as in the local language. So, as per the policy, the medium of instruction until at least class 5, but preferably till class 8 and beyond, will be the home language, mother tongue, local language, and regional language. So, keeping in view that children have a great ability to pick up multiple languages at early age. In nutshell, the policy talks about a flexible approach in 3-language formula. But as we need to focus from what to think to how to think, it is very important that our students should be free to use any language they feel themselves comfortable. Hence, it is suggested that the mother tongue or the local language or regional language, one of them could be the choice for medium of instruction. Experts have found when a child is born, he starts learning every minute in his home language. It is not just in one country. In countries like France and Germany, and even many Nobel laureates also have admitted that their knowledge of science or any other subjects has been better when they study it in their own language. In Delhi, Patel School has adopted mother tongue as a medium of instruction since its inception. And students of this school have been outshining many other schools every year in the boards. For the Education Ministry, NCRT, SCRT, and many other policy-making institutions, there will be the need to get the curriculum revived and get the textbooks published at the earliest to implement the policy in letter and spirit, which is a big, big challenge. Language and subject teachers who may teach in local language or regional or mother tongue with proficiency would be employed and trained to get the system ready at the earliest. While implementing multilingual system with options to select whatever, our children and parents would have to face some practical problems also which need to be sorted out. Like parents employed on transferable jobs, they need to migrate from one state to another and as per their job profile. For such cases, there are no such solutions so far available that if a child is studying in his regional language, so naturally for such cases, usage of regional language would prove to be an obstacle in his academic development. So it's necessary to moderate the system and to provide regional language teachers in abundance all around. The policy is aimed at paving the way for transformational reforms in school and higher education systems to make India a global knowledge superpower. Our prayers for the successful implementation of NEP so that our country can progress by leaps and bounds and become once again Vishwaguru and very soon. In the last, my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Prem Ojaji, Principal Gateway International School, and Professor Kamlesh Mishraji, Vice Chancellor, Rishi Hood University, and all the associated organizers for giving me this platform to share the knowledge and the audience, yes, for listening. Yeah. Now, in the last but not least, the dais is open for any query related to this topic. Okay, you may message in the chat box also. Let's welcome this revolutionary step of implementing multilingual concept in our education system in the welfare of masses and our next generation, and to make our country as a new and Atmanirbhar Bharat without any doubt. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Geetanjali ji, each language learning process somewhere recounts 6 to 8 years to be fluent in that, right? And to be proficient for that particular language. And the best time to learn, which I have read somewhere in the research, is that the best time to start learning the foreign languages is from the elementary school level.
Yes.
So restricting our students from that will not limit their chances to study the culture and the practices at the global scale and the opportunities available for them. Because if they start late studying foreign language, so there can be an issue related to getting proficient. My second understanding I want to from your side is what administrative challenges schools can face while implementing three language formula.
Yes, of course. Number one that you have talked about, that I'm talking about multilingual, three languages actually. Out of three languages, there will be two languages which are belonging to our country. The third language will be the foreign language itself. So it may be any language. It's not only for English or something else. That is also multilingual we are talking about. We are not talking about only mother tongue. Yes, out of two native of our India, that can include the regional language, Telugu or Kannada or whatever they say. That's a full choice. Flexibility is there. The next thing, as per the administration, yes, problems, challenges will be there, because as we are talking about, particularly northern India in our state, like there won't be any problem. But yes, in South India, southern India, where there are so many languages and completely different from one or the other, and in case of transferable and all those things. So procuring so many language teachers will be a difficulty actually. Over here, if I say that somebody is coming from South India to North India in our state, in our school, and he demands that I want my child to be studied in Kannada, so that would be a problem. We can't deploy so many language teachers over there. So in that very case, yes, there would be a kind of you can say limit of choices which we can give in our school system. But yes, this is all what is demanded by the, you can say, by this policy, that you need to employ so many language teachers, and one teacher, even teachers should be trained in that very way, that they should know more languages, so that they can at least be available in case any child gets transferred from any state and he wants that I want to be taught in Sanskrit, I want to be taught in Odia. So in that very case, we don't have the teachers. So this is a problem, a challenge going to be in front of the school system also. And I hope that many language teachers would be employed, and they would be at least available in such places where there are more chances of getting transferable kind of situations, migration kind of system. Yes, that would be the problem. But I hope we will be facing that very successfully, and we'll be finding out some more way outs how to deal with such situations. Thank you.
Thank you, Geetanjali ji. The way you have deal
Most
with
welcome.
all aspects of linguistic education. Yes, there are several other aspects also where new education policy need to look into. As far as the constitutional aspects, you see only 18 languages are listed. Uh, and it also says that in those 18 languages, the books, publications for assessments can be conducted. But there are several mother tongue which are still not listed as a language in the constitution, and one is Bhojpuri, Mathili, Haryanvi. So, like, now what we will do in such scenario, for example, a child tomorrow decide, you know, I want to study in Haryanvi, or I want to study, or I want to have my education in Bhojpuri, or in Mathli, or in Magahi, because these are all mother tongue and not being accepted, listed in the constitution till now. So let's see how government in coming future, how implementing this. And more than there's a certain politicization also. Southern India already has started questioning these aspects. But yes, multilingualism has a great importance in the study or in the whole education system. uh, I'll tell you one thing. हम लोग खासकर मेरे एक दादाजी जो हमें कहा करते थे कि भोजपुरी में सोचे लागा, आप भोजपुरी में कहे लागा तो जल्दी सीखवा. So मैं इसको आई जस्ट ट्रांसलेट इनटू हिंदी कि आप यदि उसी भाषा में सोच रहे हैं और उसी भाषा में बोल रहे हैं ट्रांसलेट किए बिना, तो आप जल्दी सीखेंगे. और मुझे लगता है यही एक क्रक्स है लिंग्विस्टिक अप्रोच को इन्वॉल्व करने का, कि बच्चे जिस भाषा को बोलें उसी भाषा में सोचें और बिना ट्रांसलेशन के उसको बोलें, तो ज्यादा लर्निंग होगी उन चीजों से. Thank you so much, ma'am. We will take few questions end of the session also. Yes, ma'am, please.
point that you have talked about, I just want to highlight that we are going to make efforts for all those Indian languages which have rich oral and written literature,
Yes.
culture and knowledge. So we don't have, for Haryanvi, we don't have any oral and written literature like. So in that respect, so far, it needs to be weighted.
Yes.
We will first take those languages where we have some kind of literature also, some scripts and all that also.
Yeah.
Now it's time for us to have a boundary-free approach in the education. And the cross-scaling is something which is at more important like the upscaling. So that is something which we should look forward now. And I believe it's time for now that we should take a question and answers for the speakers. To start with, I have a question for Abha ma'am. What kind of academic background, skills, and values do you expect the early childhood education teachers to have? Ava ma'am, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Would you please repeat the question, sir? I'm sorry.
What kind of academic background, skills, and values do you expect the early childhood teachers to have?
Officially speaking, as per the guidelines, even a pass out, student can be given training and can be done. But what I strongly feel that, it is all about the learning which takes place in those 2 years that they are going to attend the training. It's also about, if you ask me, in my school, I invite and I, welcome such eager learners, and we give them the training because we have the specialists in our school who give them the training, and the younger the people are, better connection they get and they make with these students. So this is a qualification I'm talking about कि 12वीं class है sir या graduation है, but it's all about the eagerness to learn, environment they get, and the training that we give. This is what I strongly feel, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And then there is a question for Geetanjali, ma'am. I'm giving it to you.
Yes, sir.
In new education policy, there is an emphasis on Indian ethos and values in education. How should teachers plan, or what should be the most effective ways to deliver this to Gen Z students?
Yes, of course. First, for delivering such kind of values to the students, a person himself or herself should have that strongly rooted in himself. So individual, it depends on the individual values also, how, what kind of philosophy, what kind of ideal the person has. That's why particularly for providing the teacher education, and this 4 years integrated program has started, that for preparing a complete teacher, we can't just make 1 year or 2 years B.Ed course and we can't say that that is a perfect teacher. So 4 years will naturally make all kind of training in that person, that his values will be embedded into it. Indian philosophy will be taught to that person, and at a wider perspective. So finally, the teacher will be prepared in that very way. And if a teacher has a strong values, naturally when he goes to the classroom, it's nothing something like we can say one subject or one textbook for moral education. No, while teaching every day, every moment, this value has to be incorporated, and it depends upon the approach of a teacher, it depends upon the attitude of the teacher, it depends on how he is dealing with the students, that his values are completely, you can say, expressed, and that is being followed, and that is, I would say, being observed by the students very clearly every time, directly or indirectly. So to provide such kind of environment in the school, teacher should have strong values. And for preparing such kind of teachers with strong values, we need to emphasize on the proper teacher education system. So such kind of this 4 years, as Neeraj sir was also telling, I would like to add that this pilot project has been started already. This integrated B.Ed education, BA plus B.Ed education 4 years program, it has already been started 2 years back itself. And it was started in Jhajjar with the name of Prarambh. And this is really going very much successful, because I myself have also visited that place, and I have found that really that 4 years program, and that is residential. And in that very way, those kind of values are being incorporated in the teachers, the philosophies, the project work, everything they are preparing over there only. And I hope that the teachers who are coming out of such kind of institutes will be more strongly, I would say, expressing that to the students also. And that has to be, and that's why this teacher education has to be, and teacher training has to be very much emphasized in this new education policy. And this is going to work wonders, I would say. Definitely it works. Thank you.
Professor Kamlesh Mishra ji, would like to understand your thoughts on this one. Do you see any gap, what is happening when we move towards on a higher ladder in education from pre-primary, elementary to the secondary level? There are two different statements which come. When we are in pre-primary, we are always taught that study is play, it should be through a playful journey, right? When we reach to the secondary level at all, we always hear, like, till the time you will not complete your homework, you cannot play. So there are two contrary approach which are there towards studies. What are your thoughts on this one? And with the same, if you can conclude on the entire session today.
See, my take on the system is maybe a little different than what normally people think. I have always believed that you cannot make people learn. That's a philosophy. Now, what do I mean by this? I think what we are trying to do is to move away from an educational system which relies very heavily on memory. And we are trying to move away to an educational system which relies more on problem-solving skills, which is not dependent on memory. Now, I'll give an example. If you learn how to swim or how to ride a bicycle, you don't need to memorize it. Even after 10 years, if you ride a bicycle with a little wobble, you will start riding it again, because it is not based on a memory system that you have to remove from the filing system. And I think that's the essence of all learning, and that's what we are trying to do at Rishihood, that we are trying to follow a principle which is called a principle of 20, 30, and 50. That is, only 20% of the learning should come from hearing things. 30% should come from seeing things. And 50% should come from doing things. Now, this is what the 20-30 principle is. So in this kind of a system, because you are basically using all senses of human body in the learning process. Unless you use all senses of human body in learning process, your learning cannot be complete. And in a traditional system that we are used to, we have been using only one sense, and that is the sense of hearing. So I think here is a great opportunity for us to move away from that system and move into this new system. Now, I think the beauty of this policy is that from day one, it introduces that system. From play school itself, right? Let's work together. For example, we have a school of education. We don't mind having a once in a month or once in 2 months, having a full day training for teachers on the latest developments that are happening. And this is I'm not proposing this as something that is a paid training or something like this. This is, we are a university which wants to create social impact profession. And this could be some of that kind, where we could have 200, 300, 400 teachers from all surrounding schools one day, in which we would want even the principals to be involved, because we want them also to be part of it. So I think creating something like that, and so that knowledge sharing keeps on happening in the area that we are, would be a great thing to consider. I think it's a great start, and Premji, thank you so much for taking this initiative. दिमाग तो किसी का लगता है, काम तो बहुत लोग कर लेते हैं. But thank you for doing that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And so beautifully you have concluded every aspects. आज मिलकर हम सबने जिस तरीके से हर बिंदु को छुआ है, हर पहलू को छुआ है, वो एक अच्छी शुरुआत है. हम कोशिश करेंगे कि इस शुरुआत को आगे कंटिन्यू रखें. जैसे सर ने भी कहा कि हम कोई ऐसा माध्यम चुन सकें जिससे कि हम एक रेगुलर इंटरवल पे मिल सकें, एक दूसरे से बातचीत कर सकें, नए जो बदलाव हो रहे हैं उन बदलावों से अपने आप को रूबरू कर सकें और अपने आप को उन बदलावों को सीख सकें. सो वंस अगेन आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आप सभी जुड़े, सभी स्पीकर्स का, सभी ऑडियंस का. और मुझे मालूम है कि आप सबने, हम सब यहाँ से कुछ ना कुछ अपने के लिए स्पेसिफिक टेंजिबल टेक अवे लेके आज जा रहे होंगे और फिर से मिलेंगे इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे अपनी बात को रखने के लिए, एक दूसरे के साथ शेयर करने के लिए. थैंक यू सो मच.